What's up, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I am Brandon May.
Hope you're all having a good week. I know it's been a fun one for anybody keeping up with our playlist because we've got some incredible new releases to break down, and I'm excited to talk about them. But before we do, is there anything in terms of music news you want to chat about first?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a number of things. You and I have been texting for the last couple of days about like a lot of things. Ozzy Osbourne pulls out of Power Trip.
Are you considering going?
It's right down the street, man. If I can get tickets for a lot less expensive than what they are advertising them for, then yes.
And who was he replaced by? Who was Ozzy Osbourne replaced by?
Judas Priest.
Okay, so going through the lineup in order: Friday night, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden; Saturday night, AC/DC, Judas Priest; Sunday night, Metallica, Tool.
Yes, Tool is still the only outlier here.
I would say Sunday night is probably the night I would want to go to the most, though, even with them being the outlier. I think Metallica, Tool back to back, that'd be a good time.
Yeah, it'll be great.
You don't want to hear Lars drum for 2.5, 3 hours? Just hold up a sign that says use double kick.
Yeah, I have to, right? I have to. If I go, I have to have a sign that says please learn to use your double kick drum, Lars. Dying Fetus has announced their new album called Make Them Beg for Death, with one of, in my opinion, their best album covers to date.
Yes, and you're going to be going to that tour, correct? You're not going to miss them this time.
I would very much like to, yes.
Them and Acacia Strain back to back. That's another just hell of a fucking show, man.
Right? It's the Acacia Strain, Despised Icon, and Dying Fetus.
Yep, go
ahead.
for it. No, I was going to say on my end of the spectrum, we got Kate Live finally announced. They're going to do a little 5-day tour. No, September 9th in Portland, Oregon. The venue's kind of a weird spot for them, but I do like McMenamin, so it should be a good time.
Are you going?
Yes, we're most definitely going. Yeah, I'm not going to miss that one. Weren't we talking about another lineup? I can't remember.
I had sent you that Afterlife is bringing their show to the Los Angeles Historic State Park,
right,
which is a very cool venue. I saw Rufus, Bob Moses, and Lastlings there, and that should be a very interesting time. They're bringing their full visual setup, so they won't be kneecapped by the Sahara tent this time. And I'm sure Tale of Us is just gonna crush it.
Is it going to be Tale of Us? Probably an Anima set. Well, he'll probably do his stuff in Tale of Us. Cassian? Probably Cassian,
and then I would assume Adriatic.
Yeah.
Adriatique.
Damn. That is a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, it sure is. So that will be a special one. I think that's all I got, man.
I think that's all I have for now, too. I'm sure other stuff will come up in the course of us doing the show this week.
I'm sure.
All right, let's kick it off with my song of the week, which is Fine Day Anthem, Skrillex and Boys Noise. Just absolute fucking banger, man. I'm loving this one. What about you?
So there have been probably close to 1,000 uses of this sample. ATB did it in the 90s, many others. I'm not familiar, obviously, with all of them. It would be way too many to count. However, this one's pretty fucking solid, man. Sounds like a Dog Blood track, but I understand why they didn't want to like brand it as a Dog Blood track, since it's it's relatively simple sample work, but it's a banger nonetheless, man. This track got a lot of plays for me this week.
Yeah, it goes insanely hard, especially that last drop. You can really hear the Boys Noise in all of it.
Right.
Moving on, we got a new one from Sebastian in London Grammar called Dancing by Night. This is the first thing he's released non-fashion show related in a couple years, and I'm happy to have it, man. His production is great as always. I like London Grammar's vocals. They never really do it for me in like an over-the-top way, but I enjoyed this track. What about you?
Yeah, man, we've talked about London Grammar like a bit, and I have not been shy about my love for Sebastian's music since you showed me one of his last albums. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but man, this is great. I wish it was a little weirder. It seems pretty straightforward for a Sebastian track, but I think that's probably London Grammar's influence, it being not weird.
Yes. Well put. Yeah, his last album, Thirst, came out in
That's it,
2019.
Thirst.
That might have been the one.
Yep.
Excellent fucking album. All right, man. We got a new one from Feed Me. Say yes or say no. This is the first track off of his upcoming EP, which will be his first official EP in quite some time. You excited about it?
Yeah, man, this is fantastic. Immediately took me back to when I first discovered him. He's got such a way with chord progressions, and the synths he uses are his and his alone at this point. If anybody even tried to mess with the same sounds that he does, I think people might just boo them. You know?
They should. Yeah, dude, he fucking snapped on this one. Back to the electro house roots. Loved it.
I'll never forget where I was when I first heard Feed Me. I was driving to my buddy's house in Palm Springs, and I had Pandora playing, and I it was just on some radio station, and Blood Red by Feed Me came on, and I was like, who the fuck is this? This is Yes. And
Yes.
yeah.
I think Blood Red or Muscle Rollers was the first song of his I heard as well.
Yeah, it's good to know he's got a new EP. He said maybe two this year, so we'll see what happens. It seems to be he's on a little creative streak, and I'm not mad at that even a little bit.
Yeah. We got a Spore EP last year, so I'm not ruling anything out right now.
Right, exactly.
Moving on, we got a new one from Hayden James and Bob Moses called Do You Want Me? This one's giving me some like Diet, Dead Mouse and Cascade vibes with the synth tone, chord progression, and tempo, but I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Fucking Diet Dead Mouse. Yeah, man, I saw Hayden James with my wife and a couple friends when he was a relatively small name playing at the Heineken House at Coachella 2015. Great time, and you can hear both, obviously, Bob Moses and Hayden's
Yeah.
influences on this track, and that's exactly what you want from a collab, man. They posted the first time it being dropped. Hayden dropped it, and one of the boys from Bob Moses went out and did. I think it's Tom went out and did vocals live for it, and
Oh, sick.
yeah, the crowd was into it.
Yeah, they should have been if they weren't. That
Right,
sounds fucking awesome, dude.
right.
Yeah, this one gave me kind of a throwback to like the Morgan Page vibes. I dug it.
Yeah, man, me too.
Moving on, we got a new one from Dylan Francis and Good Times Ahead called LA on Acid. How'd you feel about this one?
This is okay, man. Dylan Francis has lost a little bit of his luster for me.
Yeah, it's a fun track when it comes on, but not one I'd really seek out. The DJ Hansel EP was a good time though.
Oh, most definitely.
Um, got a new one from Zombies in Miami called Zombie Dance. I've never heard of them before. Where'd you find this group at?
No clue. I think we might have covered one of their songs randomly last year, though. It's weird and fresh. Those are the only two adjectives I could come up with.
Yeah, that fits, man. It's honestly a pretty straightforward song. It's fun to listen to though.
Yep.
Got a new one from Ferry Corsten called Mind Trip. He's just keeping that hard trance alive, man. Doing it with a little
Transnation.
bit more of a modern approach. I'm here for it, dude. What about you?
Yeah, man. It's always a good day when we get new Ferry Corsten. It's
Amen.
pronounced, though, psychedelics, not psychodelics.
Thank you, Hermione. All right, got a new one from Ariel Grime and Jules called Breach. Where are we at on this?
This track fucking rips, bro.
Yes,
I'm
I agree.
I'm about it. I am about it. This takes me all the way back. This is some
My notes
2011 trap shit.
my notes say this is what I imagine chewing five gum is like. It's great. Still no album date announcement, but I think we're gonna get one from Ariel Grime soon.
Yeah, I'm at the very least an EP. He's been dropping some tracks, so
Got another new one from Tyga and Kolsch called Almost Everything. Were you expecting a follow-up from them?
I was not.
I was not either.
I actually liked the first one a little better, but I needed to throw this one on. But I mean, it's good. You can again hear both of them very well. But I think I liked the first one a little better.
They could make 100 collab tracks and I'd listen to every one.
Straight up.
All right, we got the John Summit remix of "I Remember" by Dead Mouse and Cascade. It's a great remix of a great song. Not much else to say about it. What about you?
John Summit is fucking huge right now, man. He's
Yes.
playing hard, I guess, and they announced their befores and afters parties, and he's playing a small little Insomniac club called Academy LA, and the tickets were almost immediately $135
Hmm.
It's wild, man. This remix is all right. Nothing will ever touch the original for me, and it's almost every time I hear a remix of something that both of them have touched, I'm like, yeah, but the original.
Yeah, it's like sacred text to touch too in terms of the
Exactly.
song, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, all right, we got this track off Speak Now Taylor's version called Castles Crumbling. I threw it on here because I saw featuring Haley Williams. I tried to like it, but I had a long day and I just hate the fucking Eagles, man. I could not get into this one. Did you like it?
Oh man, your references are out of control.
Everybody knows that.
I like this track a lot, actually, man. The harmonies are amazing. I haven't listened to Taylor's version of "Speak Now" quite yet because there's just so much music.
I was
But
going to ask.
she's still killing this Eras tour, man. Apparently, it's the show to not miss. She's really given her fans everything. She's been releasing nonstop since she put out Folklore, and just hasn't stopped working, man. Her grind is out of control.
Yeah, even though I did not like the song, I still respect the hustle. And the other day on Twitter, when the Speak Now Deluxe came out, Taylor's version was released, somebody did the George Bush being whispered to on 9/11 meme, and it just says, Sir John Mayer's been hit with another Dear John. And I fucking died, man.
Oh,
Excellent.
that's funny.
Yes, excellent content. All right, let's move on. We got a new one from Easy Life called Palm Tree Days. How could you not love these guys, man? Even their Lucy's are incredible. Did you enjoy this one?
Breezy and poppy, just the way we like Easy Life.
Yes, sir. The name says it all, really.
Straight up.
All right, got a new one from Mahalia called Ready. Thought this one was solid, not quite as strong as the other singles have been, but her new album drops this week. I'm still very excited about it. Did you enjoy this one?
What I really loved was like the meandering bass. Her voice is
Yeah,
great, but it hasn't been my favorite of the singles. Very excited for the album.
same. And speaking of albums I'm excited for also, Mick Jenkins released a new track with Jid called Smoke Break Dance. This one is just fucking impeccable, man. Their styles complement each other perfectly. Both guys deliver great verses over a great beat. And his new album, The Patience, is scheduled to drop August 18th. You excited about it?
Yeah, man. You, I think, was it you that showed me Mick Jenkins?
Most likely.
I'm very excited for that. These two on a jazzy kind of bassy beat created some of just the best vibes, man. This is a great track.
It's so fucking good, man. I had this one on repeat all week.
Yep.
As well as this next track, which is Takei Maidza and Flume's Silent Assassin. She fucking kills it, pun intended. And I love the beat by Flume on this one, man. All great shit as far as I'm concerned. Did you enjoy it?
Look, man, I did, but the beat is so similar to the Boys Noise track that he did with Snoop Dogg. I think "Got It" on Out of the
Got it?
Black. The
I
beat,
could see that, sure.
it kept remind. I actually listened to that song quite a bit this week.
You're just looking for any excuse to go into Out of the Black.
I mean, who needs an excuse? But this was all right, man. This was all right.
I love this one. That was a close runner-up to my song of the week.
I knew it would be.
Got a new one from Audrey Nuna called IDGAF. The only thing I don't like about this song is that it isn't 10 hours long. I love the way she raps, and the beat is great on it. Did you like it?
Yeah, man, the beat is fucking hard. Some of the lyrics are a little nonsensical, but I'm not even mad at it, man. It's catchy as hell.
I almost had a heart attack when I got this next one because we got a new one from Chica called Demigod. Great song, fucking work of art. But we also got the announcement of her debut album, Samson the Album, drops July 28th. Man, I'm
Oh,
fucking over the moon about that.
yeah,
Did
that's
you enjoy
soon.
this track?
This is grandiose in a way that I was not
Very.
expecting. I really liked this track.
Yeah, I like how it's grandiose, but kind of in that middle pocket snaps into like her usual flow for a minute there. It's really nice.
Right. Yeah.
Way out of the box too.
Yep.
Uh, Got a new one from Lupe Fiasco called is this supposed to be Chanel number three? Or is it
so
Channel number
so
three?
after hearing this track, I was confused why it was named Chanel number 3, but then I looked at it and it's Channel 3. He's talking about video games. He's talking about putting the TV on Channel 3 so he can play the N64, man.
Old head shit. I love it.
Straight up. He talks about cheating a little bit, and I need to ask you, did you have an N64 Game Shark? I did.
Um I didn't have the Game Shark. No, I just went online and did whatever like controller codes you could put in.
There you
I
go.
wasn't a Game Shark person. I did have a black box for cable though. That was awesome. Yeah, man, this is a nice laid back one. I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Got a new one from Seabreeze called Annapurna. This one's giving me some like Margaritaville vibes. I'm digging it though. What'd you think of this one?
This track is certainly a vibe. I really liked it. Instrumental, just chill rock, man. I really dug it.
Yeah, it was good. Got a new one from Metric called Just the Once. How'd you feel about this one?
Honestly, this is a fantastic track. I really liked Formentera, and I'm kind of stoked for the follow up, man.
Yeah, Formentera 2 is scheduled to be released on October 13th. I think this is a great lead single. Super
Hell yeah.
upbeat, super catchy, really fun.
Yep.
Uh, Good Lord. All right. This next one is called I'm the Man by Silver Sun Pickups. This was my least favorite song of the week. I know we don't really do that. The only thing, dude, even the fucking album artwork on this one, I hate the stupid Lincoln Lawyer shit for Netflix. Everything about this is just terrible. What was your opinion?
Oh yeah, this is so fucking bad. I threw this on here because you needed to hear it. It really sucks. I have seen a running joke around the internet though that I figured I'd drop here. Silver Sun Pickups has written some of my favorite Smashing Pumpkins songs. It's about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
The song, however,
Oh
not.
yeah, no, it's terrible.
All right, got a new one from Beach Riot called "Tell Me I'm Wrong." Talk to me about this one.
Just some fuzzy bluesy riffage with some catchy poppy choruses. That's about it, man.
Yeah, you said it. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, man, I'm glad.
Got a new one from Humanity's Last Breath called Linger. This is heavy as fuck, my guy. It's super technical and dynamic. I really liked it. What about you?
Look, I really love that this song is like measured. Humanity's Last Breath makes this like measured deathcore that isn't all about the breakdown. There is a breakdown, don't worry, but it's not about it, if that makes sense. Interesting how clean vocals are slowly creeping into deathcore. I don't know if you caught some of those. I really like this song.
Oh, I
though.
did. I caught them. Yeah, I enjoyed this one as well.
Cool.
Got some new music from Carnifex, man. Necromantium. I think this is the title track off of their upcoming album, and I just love Carnifex because they'll always just be Carnifex. You know,
Right.
this
Exactly.
still sounds like the same band that made Dead in My Arms back in '07.
Yeah.
Heavy as fuck. Good shit, though. What'd you think of it?
Classic MySpace style deathcore sound that we know and love from Carnifex, man. This track is
Yep.
crushing, and I love that I get what I expect out of them every time.
Same. All right, to cap off the singles this week, we got one from Orbit Culture called From the Inside. Talk to me about this one.
This track, like pretty much every other Orbit track I've heard, is very good. I'm excited for the next project, man. You know, they've got this kind of like Metallica, Hetfield style clean vocals. And honestly, I if you would have described this to me, I would have been like, no thanks. But honestly, it works.
Yeah, it's very powerful. They try and make every layer of the music very epic and heavy, and it leads into that Metallica-esque sound. I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Their new album, Descent, is scheduled to drop August 18th.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the EPs. First up this week, we got a new one from Flow called Three of Us. I'm a big fan of this. We covered a track they did with Missy Elliott earlier this year that I really enjoyed. They released this EP as a holdover until their debut album is ready, and I'm hoping it's a lot more of this. You can hear like that Timbaland influence on tracks like Control Freak, And you know that's a quick way to my heart, man. I enjoyed these. What about you?
Yeah, man, this is fucking great. Old school trio pop R&B. Kind of threw me back to the
Hmm.
late 90s, early 2000s. The trade-offs, the harmonies, the melodies, the
Yeah.
production, the little details like the filtered yeahs all come together for a really fun project, man.
Yeah, they killed it. All right, we got three new songs from Kenny Hoopla and Travis Barker. This EP is called Blink and You'll Miss It. I I think like you, I enjoyed the mixtape they did together a while back, but I'm not feeling this one at all, man. All three of these are just bland, uninspired, and I was hoping for better, honestly. What about you?
Honestly, there's a couple of good hooks, and I didn't like hate this, but it just didn't grab me the way that mixtape did, man.
Yeah, same. I
He's
don't know if
he's
they'll be able to recapture the magic with just them again.
Look, man, they're both good at what they do. They're just not doing it well.
I think that's that's a simplistic way of putting it, but very true. Yeah. All right. We got an EP from Better Lovers called Sacrificial Participant. This shit goes so fucking hard, and I would not expect anything less from a band comprised of former members of Every Time I Die, Dillinger Escape Plan, and Fit for an Autopsy. It's a little bit of everything. It's kind of like metalcore, hardcore, thrash punk. It all works. They went 4 for 4 on this EP for me. All bangers. 30 under 13 though is top tier shit, man. I fucking loved this. What about you?
Straight up, man. 30 Under 13 is the best track on this one. And what a debut project, man. So I knew that Buckley, one of the Buckley brothers from Every Time I Die, was in this, but I heard the Dillinger Escape Plan before I realized that it was actually Greg who was in the band. Man, this band quickly blew up. By the way, when I added it to the playlist, there was like 10,000 monthly listeners or something, close to 80K right now. Just
Yeah,
wild, mathy, heavy, and all around really fun listen. Man, should be an interesting one. Sharp Tone Records released this one.
word's getting out.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Got a new EP from Plains called Puppet. How you feeling about it?
Uh, Holy shit, this rips, man. It's like if Royal Blood and Fiddler decided to get together.
I love that.
Thrash punk riffs, gang choruses, heavy bass riffs. This EP has got it all, man. Actually, one of my most listened to. It's a really quick listen, and it's a really good listen.
Yeah, man, it's catchy, it's heavy, it's fun. You said it.
Yep.
Got a new EP from Alienator called World of Hate. Few things are better than a good underground hardcore EP like this. It's the kind of music that makes you want to do like a somersault stage dive onto a group of people who definitely will not catch you. It's full of anger and energy and made for a really fun listen when it came on. You enjoy it?
Yeah, man. I just want to windmill kick some kids here.
That's all I
Released
ever want to do.
released on Convulse Records, known for hardcore and even some grindcore sprinkled into their catalog. I just wanted you to hear it. It's punky, it's grindy, it's heavy, it's nonstop, and it's so much fun. I really
I
like this
needed
one.
to. Yes. All right, got a new EP from Sunmass called A Great Distance. Talk to me about this one.
Alrighty, man. Actually, not. I don't have too much to say about it, but it is doomy. It's heavy. It's slow. It's bluesy. Small band. Just wanted to show them a little bit of love because they're clearly they're clearly almost onto something here. Did you like this one?
I did, man. I think instrumental doom is a thing that we haven't really dove into a whole lot, and I surprisingly really enjoyed it. I feel
Great.
like being able to focus on just the music helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not muddled with other things. It's just doom.
Yeah.
So
Which yes, when in the mood, that is a this did it.
most
Um
definitely.
all right, let's move on to the albums. First up this week, we got a new one from Raul Alejandro called Playas Eterno. We're living in the golden age of Latin pop right now, and it's hard to appreciate it at the rate that it's being released, but this is yet another great album for the genre this year. Like all Latin albums that we review, there's a slight language barrier holding us back from completely understanding all of these tracks, but we can pick up the vibes, and the vibes on this album are immaculate, man. Especially the last track, Baby Hello, which is a permanent fixture in my yearly rotation. I'm giving this one a 7, maybe a 7.5. I liked it. What about you?
This is a really entertaining listen, man. I think the Latin pop beat of is just a
Yes.
little grating after a while, but it's insanely danceable and obviously ubiquitous for a reason. That being said, there's a lot of fun styles being played around with on this album. My favorite track
Hmm.
on this one is obviously Baby Hello with bizarre rap on the production. What blows me away though are the numbers that Raul and all of his features are doing, man. These guys are massive.
Yes.
There's a guy Peso Pluma who isn't featured on this album, but he just played the arena over in my neck of the woods this weekend, and it looked insane. The
The
Latin
crowd.
pop is, like we said last year, man. Latin pop is just a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think it's going away.
I hope it doesn't.
I think it's
I'm
staying,
loving
man.
it.
I'm gonna give it somewhere between a 6 and a 7 for me. My standout is obviously Baby Hello. That track's a fucking
Same.
banger.
Same. All right, let's talk about this new Dominic Fike album, Sunbird. Look, man, I like it. I'm not saying it's great, but I keep listening to it, and I think that that has to count for something. I think that the charm of his music is that it has no idea what it wants to be. You could say like the Robert California thing about the Black Eyed Peas with a lot of the genres that he dabbles in, indie pop, rap, whatever. But uh, I don't know, something about it works for me. I don't have to explain myself. I still don't love the singles outside of Mona Lisa very much, but I don't skip them when they come on outside of Mama's Boy. But a lot of the album cuts are my favorites. How Much Is Weed, 7 Hours, Bodies, those are some of my favorites. I'm going to give this one a 7.5. I enjoyed it quite a bit. What about you?
Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I'm gonna shoot straight here. I don't think this is
Please.
for me. It's not that it's bad. It's actually pretty pleasant. It's just that the pop rock slash rap that seems like he can't pick a lane. It just
Yes.
it for I don't know, man. I feel like he does like folky indie pop like really good. I think if he did everything as a rap with more of like a rap beat, I think it'd be really good. It's this meeting in the middle and kind of poorly executing both simultaneously that really isn't my thing. Again, I don't think that it's bad music because again, it is pleasant. It's just not for me. At under 40 minutes, it's a decent length. I did run through it twice. I will say though, you told me to check out his stream when he was playing Coachella, and I thought the show was good, probably because it was more of a rock thing than anything else at the show.
Yeah.
Pasture Child is actually my favorite standout track on this one. It's one of the more authentic sounding tracks on the record. I'm going to give this one a 4. It's just not for me, man.
Hey man, I had a feeling that it would not be. That was kind of my expectation. Yeah, man. I've always referred to him as like a guilty pleasure listen for me, and I think that that's true, but I don't care what people think anymore, so I just say that I like it.
No, good.
Uh,
Do
I
your
I
thing, bro. You're
I
allowed to
also
like things.
I also feel like if he did pick a lane, then people would very quickly be like, I wish you'd go back to like the sound of the first two albums that are just kind of whatever. Like I don't know, there's a certain immaturity to it all that I think is what his fans like about it.
That's fair. That's really fair.
Um, but we'll see, man. Dude's really young, and I think it'll be interesting to watch his career where it goes from here because his first two albums are pretty similar in the way that they sound and the way that they're constructed. It'll be interesting to see if there's any growth by the next one.
You know what I'd love if he did kind of like instead of dropping an album and he'd drop like 3 EPs. So like one rap EP, one like pop rock, and then one like folky indie pop.
Like Tierra Whack did a few years ago.
Yeah, something like here's my styles. I like these things. If you don't like the other thing, don't listen to it. Here's the one you do like.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I would definitely be on board for it. All right, we don't have to linger on Dominic Fike anymore. Talk to me about this new Group Love album. I want it all right now.
Alrighty. My bias is going to show here because I fucking love this band. Even their most disliked
Yes, you do.
albums, which are Healer and Big Mess, are just fantastic to me. This album starts off strong and just continues to be fucking great, man. As I suspected, they ditched that kind of raw and angry sound from their album This Is This, released in 2021.
Boo.
This album is 42 minutes of great indie rock with sharp corners and soft edges. They toe this line pretty well throughout the album, and I think they do a pretty good fucking job of it. The runtime flies by because of how engaging the songs are for me. The track All has these strings that like really frame the song along with the synths. Great fucking opener. Cheese has those sharp corners I was talking about, and the bass line just kind of softens everything up. Malachi has this synthy bass line that like sets the tone for the whole song. Droney guitar work fills out the rest. Eyes has this classic Group Love sound to it. His voice just fucking soars on this one. Climb has this like goth vibe to it that seems out of place yet still fits somehow. Wall is a fantastic closer for this record. Basically everything they're really good at. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Wall is my standout for now, but that might change with subsequent listens. I really dug this one.
I mean, you touched on what I don't like about it already. It's not the angry, happy album that their last one was, but
Yep.
I still had a good time with it when it came on. There's a few tracks on it I didn't love, but that was mostly just due to personal taste, not really because the songs themselves were bad. I could see this one growing on me over time, but it's still like a work in progress for me. At the moment, I think I'm like somewhere between a 6 and a 7 on it, but I was really enjoying like the first few tracks, especially Cheese and is it Malachi or Malachi?
Sure, whatever.
Yes, those two songs back to back were kind of the ones I keep going back to on this one so far.
Yep. Cool, man. Well, I'm glad you didn't hate it.
I did not hate it. It's still good. I kind of went in thinking it was going to be a big departure from their last album, and it's really not. But it's not quite as my tempo as the last album was either.
That's fair. This is kind of an outlier in their discography, but they really made it work for them. And as a longtime fan of theirs, I'm glad they kind of went back to their earlier sound. But I mean, your opinion matters too.
Yes, it does. Damn it, I have a podcast. So. All right, we got a new album from Local Natives called "Time Will Wait for No One." Talk to me about this.
Alrighty then. Well, this is everything you expect and want out of a Local Natives release. Basslines galore, easy vocals, the lyrics that invoke, like depression while you're at a cafe. It's standard for them. This is one of those bands that I really don't mind if they continue to put out the same album over and over again. It works for them, and it works for me, and I'm probably going to like it every time. Empty Mansions has their signature atmosphere, but it's like elevated with this guitar lick that follows the octave of the vocals. They use this synth, or is it like a trigger sample of some sort in the chorus? And like, god damn, is that beautiful. Ava has some incredibly measured and, well, not very intricate, very bright bass lines. Paradise is a fantastic closer for this one, man. I love the way it builds and crescendos, and I feel like the band are all doing something independently, but it still all makes a lot of sense. I really like this song. Paradise is my standout. I'm going to give this one a 7. Did it invoke feelings of depression at your cafe there, John?
Cafe Depression playlist. It definitely fits into that category. As an album, no, I was not really feeling this one. I think they're good at what they do, but what they do is not as much my thing as it is your thing. The music on this album is fine, but it's also a little monotonous for my personal taste. I liked moments on it though. Like you hit the best one already, which is that end of Empty Mansions where it turns into this vibey indie gaze. I also really liked Hourglass. The additional distortion in that one was working for me. But as a whole, I had trouble connecting with this album. I'm going to give it a 5 for now. My standouts are the two songs that I just mentioned.
For sure, man.
Moving on, we got a new one from Gus Dapperton called Henge. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Going into this one, I was thinking it was gonna be a little bit of a snooze, but I turned out to love it. I don't think he'd be able to top the track with Benny that we heard as a single, and maybe he didn't, but Phases, Homebody, those ones blew me away just as much. His music has this kind of elastic quality to it that I don't think I've really heard in the way that he does, and it's able to become as big or as small as he wants it to be with very subtle changes in his inflection. And I thought the songwriting on this album was great as well, man, just as captivating as his voice. I don't know, man. I think I'm like at an 8.5 with this one. Don't Let Me
Nice.
Down and Homebody are my two favorites. I enjoyed it. What about you?
Nice. Look, man, I haven't necessarily been on the fence about Gus Dapperton, but his music hasn't really grabbed me until I listened to this album, actually. He's at his best when he lets the production and the instrumentals kind of breathe and flow as he's delivering lyrics. He does that quite a bit on this record, and it surprised me just how much I was like physically grooving to it. He's at his worst, though, when the auto-tune is turned up. He's got like different levels to it.
Midnight Train.
Yeah, man, he sounds like a different person. Both The Stranger and Midnight Train are great examples of this.
Yeah.
It is good pop music. I'm glad I ended up liking it better than I thought that I would. It's somewhere between a 6 and a 7 for me. Standout, obviously, Don't Let Me Down featuring Benny. Banger of a track.
Yeah. Awesome. Incredible song.
Yep.
I'm glad we got to both dive into his discography at a kind of fun point. Because I've gone back and listened to his other album, or his last album from 2020, but this was my first time experiencing a new one as it released, and I liked it.
Nice. Me too.
All right, man. I know you're excited to talk about this next one. It's Blackbraid 2 by Blackbraid. Dive in.
So I found Blackbraid last year and just immediately consumed his debut album. If you didn't know, this is a solo project of a native living in the Adirondacks in New York State. There's nothing exactly groundbreaking regarding black metal on this record, but there are some fucking sick riffs, a few native flourishes, and the flutes and the wolves howling and the lyrical imagery, all put together in a very well-produced record. Blackbraid has managed to piss off a bunch of black metal nerds with his production value and pro shop music videos. However, if you're not pissing off black metal nerds, are you really even doing anything? Don't get me wrong. I love a ton of older black metal and some of the newer stuff that sounds like it's been recorded between, two tin cans connected by a shoestring. But it's honestly super refreshing to hear something so well done in the black metal world every once in a while. I love most of this record, man. The spacey, atmospheric bits, the heavy double bass grooves, the tremolo picking passages. I absolutely love the imagery and the lyrics. I love that when the time arises, he doesn't shy away from like letting the instrumentals fully realize and come to life. Like in the 3-minute instrumental passage in The Wolf That Guides the Hunter's Land. Oh my God, man. It's just here, I'm going to crush you for 3 minutes straight. I absolutely fucking love the instrumental passage with the pan flute solo on a song of death on winds of dawn. It slows everything down for a long time until the rest of the instruments come in and just fucking decimate you. Love that for me. The absolute banger of a standout and my song of the week, though, is Twilight Hymn of Ancient Blood. It starts with this massive slow riff that's just so heavy, man, and it transforms into this like Slayer reminiscent thrash riff, and he just continues to crush the vocals. The guitar solo is fucking sick. This song actually is the closer to the album. The last track, A Fine Day to Die, is actually a Bathory cover, which is a fantastic cover of that track. If you haven't heard the original, please do yourself a favor. The original is great too. This is a great album, man. I spent a lot of time with it this week. I'm going to continue to do so probably for the rest of the year. Somewhere between an 8 and a 9 out of 10, man. Twilight Hymn of Ancient Blood just fucking blew me away. What about you? What'd you think about this one?
I'm on the exact same page as you, man. Shout out to Blackbraid for doing his thing on this album. I didn't know if he'd be able to carry the energy and creativity from the singles we reviewed over the course of a full album, but he did it with ease, dude. It's technically proficient. It's heavy as fuck. Our listeners know I don't have the metal credentials to say that this is a black metal masterpiece compared to other works in the genre, but it's one of the best black metal albums I can remember covering on this podcast. Any band can name a song Moss-Covered Bones on the Altar of the Moon, but it takes a great band to make a song sound like that. And he manages to do it over and over again on this album. I also have it between an 8 and a 9. My standout is The Wolf That Guides the Hunter's Hand. Which
was my runner-up standout here.
It's so good.
Oh my God. Yeah, man, this album pissed off a bunch of black metal nerds. A bunch of people are calling him an industry plant or something because he's gotten so popular and he, actually pays for, like studio time instead of recording at your local storage center. So I mean, I don't know how you can be an industry plant and not be signed, right? And
oh no, somebody on Reddit said I'm an industry plant.
And I don't know why anybody would be an industry plant in black metal. Is black metal lucrative? Am I missing something?
Yeah, no, I think that whoever suggested that is way off.
It's
Even if he has connections of some kind, that does not
bro.
equal industry plant at all.
I posted my vinyl to Reddit and somebody said it, and so I decided to look it up. There's like, it's not just a couple of threads on Reddit, man. It's like a bunch of black metal nerds, and honestly, I'm here for the drama. It's absolutely hilarious. People can hate on this all they want, but this is a fantastic record.
God, judge the fucking music. Oh my
It's good.
God.
It's good. It's very good.
Everybody needs a break to get to where they are generally. Like, oh man, that's so stupid. Well, shout out Reddit. Shout out Blackbraid. Great album.
Shout out
Um,
Blackbraid. Really good shit.
all right, man, that does it for us this week. Join us next week when we will be breaking down new albums from Disclosure, Mahalia, and much, much more. If you liked this show, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram and Reddit. Just search Brandon's Face Pod. And make sure that you follow the playlist that this podcast is based on. You can find the link to that in the show notes. It's updated weekly and sorted by genre. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.